Hi, we're SpectraSoul.
And we're here at our brand new studio.
I'm running from the cold again. I need to find a shelter.
My favourite tune on the album is probably the track we did with Echo Park called S.O.U.R. It's just different. It's still drum and bass. It's like a new take on the genre. A lot of people have said it's kind of hip hop, which I suppose you could say it is, but I just think it's pushing our sound to a real extremity. And we just really loved Echo Park stuff when we first heard it. We managed to get him on board and it came out great. I wouldn't say it's my outright favourite, but it's one of 2 or 3 that I think are really accomplished.
I don't know whether I'd actually say I've got a specific favourite. I think I'd veer towards Away With Me, purely because I think it's something that we've wanted to do for a while, a non-drum and bass tempo track with a vocalist, a full vocal track, and just experiment with other sounds and tempos and genres. And as well, working with Tomorrow as a vocalist was great. So yeah, I think that's like the start of things to come, so I'd veer towards that one.
The easiest stuff to write was the non-drum and bass, because you're not inside the genre. You can write whatever. We've just opened it and go, right, start something, set the tempo. Is that too fast? I don't know how fast you want it to be. We weren't writing it for a DJ, we weren't writing it for anyone but ourselves. It was very self-indulgent. So it was the easiest stuff to write, and all that stuff came together quickest out of everything. Like Away With Me was done in an afternoon and an evening writing tune. And then the vocal was recorded in an afternoon and evening, and then we mixed it down the next day, done. And it was that simple.
Yeah. And a lot of it's the enjoyment of not knowing what you're writing, in a way, if that makes sense. Like,
also not caring, you know, writing purely for yourself. We had a lot of fun writing it, we tried a lot of new stuff out. We weren't really thinking about how it was going to be perceived and who was going to like it and who was going to care. It was just what we wanted to do, and I hope that comes across. That's the one thing that I want to be conveyed.
We've always worked with vocals in a lot of our music in the past, mainly samples and acapellas, and we knew that for the album we wanted to take it up a notch and work with real vocalists. I mean, we've had little stints with vocalists in the past. We worked with Kenny Knotts on our Metalheads release. Sam Wills did a track for us, The Gift, on Shogun.
The main thing about working with vocalists was about writing tunes that we could own, because we own everything about it, us and the vocalist of course. The tune has been made from nothing. It's not like we've sampled a vocal that has already been sung and recontextualised it. We have made it from zero, the ground up, and it's having ownership of our own songs.
And it just gives us a lot more freedom. You know, when we used to use acapellas and stuff, there would always be, I wish we had a certain bit of vocal for the bridge section, or that went up in pitch or whatever. And when you're working with real vocalists and real people, you just got more control and freedom over the whole process. There's different levels of vocalists, and you can obviously pay certain people to come in and just do your session vocals or whatnot. And we wanted our tracks to be much more of a collaborative effort between us and the vocalists. And again, just the control and freedom, and to give it a more personal kind of feel, I guess.
I can tell you what vocalist I would work with instantly. I'd love to do a track with D'Angelo. I think he's just got the most incredible voice I've ever heard. I've been hooked since my dad played the album to me, and I don't know, it must have been like 10 years ago, maybe more. I listen to it every week, Voodoo. It's just my therapy. I love it, and in a heartbeat, he would be my choice.
I'm a big fan of Lana Del Rey and her songwriting skills, and I think something like that could be really interesting. Also way out of our league, but in a dream scenario, someone like that would be pretty cool to work with.
We both really love Bon Iver as well.
Yeah,
that would be a really interesting one as well. I think. I mean, he did some stuff with James Blake that was quite electronic. That was interesting, but I think you could go even further.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Chains for me wrist, shackle for me feet. Still can't stop this thing to blood bleed.
Loads of people writing albums at the moment, drum and bass wise, and it's good. I think it's really good, and it's mainly because I think, in my opinion, that the market's just changed. There is a scope for artist albums now, and people don't just want to write single after single after single after single. They want to have a whole body of work. When you've done the challenge of writing a single, you kind of want to have another challenge, and the next thing is to write an EP, and then after that it's like, right, let's really get involved in an album and put it together. I wouldn't say that there's necessarily pressure.
The pressure comes from what your goal is,
Yeah.
and what your aims are with a particular body of work. If you're writing an album that you want 12 dance floor bangers on for all the main guys to be playing, then that's your aim and that's your goal.
There's loads of people in drum and bass writing their first album, and if you haven't written one before, you just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and going, that's not quite right and that's not quite right. And eventually, once you could keep perpetually delaying what you're doing, and essentially, you'll never complete it. You have to know when it's going to end, otherwise you can just keep going on forever.
Yeah. Shogun have always given us, they give all their artists, musical freedom, and obviously there's guidance and there's, advice and help along the way. But as a whole, everyone just writes what they want to write.
No one who signed Shogun with their music wasn't appreciated. Keir and Ed at the label appreciate what us and the other guys do, and then they're also, because of that appreciation, they're willing to allow us to have creative freedom, because they understand that that's where you get the best music. If they say, right, I want 10 of this sort of tune, that's going to demotivate the people that are working for the label. I think ultimately, if I was running a record label, which I never would, I think that the way I'd get the best out of people is just to let them do what they want. And if I was going to sign them, I'd sign them on that basis. And that's how I feel like we've been treated, and it's been fantastic. Like, great freedom and great support, and obviously great contacts with Keir and Ed, just knowing people to bring in and to help do certain things and get certain stuff done. It was a great process, really. It was hard at times, but we got through it and came out good. One of the most accomplished pieces of drum and bass music in the past 5 or 6 years is probably Watching You by the original instrumental.
Yeah.
Probably not even as drum and bass. I would just say it's a really accomplished piece of music, regardless of the tempo.
I think people will look back on that in a few years' time and think it kind of milestoned a particular point in not just drum and bass, but in electronic music in general. So I think people will look back on that as a bit of a classic. Like that, PFM, the Western, which for me was like my kind of entry point in a way to drum and bass, and everyone's got that piece of music that just brings back floods of memories and emotions and feelings and whatnot, and for me that track just encapsulates everything to do with music that I do today through like the portal of that track. And if you put it on now, I'd probably start crying,
No,
or
you wouldn't.
start a little down. But yeah, I'd choose that one.
We didn't want to start writing music for a new project with the same gear and the same kind of ideology, and we wanted to kind of just get loads of new gear and
refresh our methods a little bit, and since the live show that we did on Thursday, the equipment that we use for that has kind of helped to revamp our methods. We're still going to work in the same kind of grassroots way, but just with additional elements of hardware and some more hands-on stuff. I guess slightly more of a live aspect to writing music.
I've never listened to it start to finish. I think the only time I listened to it start to finish was in the background when we'd finished it and agreed the running order.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear whether it sounded right from like start to end. I've never sat anywhere and listened all the way through it ever, so I couldn't tell you where the ideal location is. If I decided I wanted to listen to it, I'd just get a big festival sound system, a wall of festival speakers, and like a chair like this, or like a recliner, like a lazy boy or something, and just sit and just listen to it. Just so you've got a really good sound system like blaring it at you in your face.
Somewhere in the sun.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd like to listen to the album in the sun. Maybe the label could send us somewhere. Send us to like, I don't know, Ho Chang in Thailand, or bloody...
Go to California and drink some nice American beer.
Yeah. I hope it's music for many situations and environments, and but I guess the listener can take what they want from it
and enjoy it wherever they want to enjoy
Yeah.
it.
She offers